Graham just gave the best reason ever for keeping Confederate monuments: is any man blameless and without sin? If you're a Christian, only one man in human history has been, and he graced this planet in physical form 2,000 years ago. If you're a member of another religion, you may believe some other man or deity is, but they too have most likely made themselves scarce these past few centuries. If you're an atheist, the answer is a flat-out no. Or, what is blame? I'm a moral relativist. But if that's the case, I'm guessing you're only reading this because you somehow managed to grossly misspell huffingtonpost.com in your browser's address bar. As a prominent Christian, the Rev. Franklin Graham believes that all men are sinners and have fallen short of the glory of God. In a Friday Facebook post that's quickly gone viral, the prominent evangelist managed to connect one particular biblical sinner with some of our countrymen's current enthusiasm toward tearing down statues of and memorials to imperfect men, and argued that destroying our history isn't good for anybody. There's a monument in Jerusalem's Kidron Valley called Absalom's Pillar that has been there for a few thousand years, Graham wrote. Absalom was a man unguilty of murder, treason, and even trying to kill his own father, King David. That's a part of history. Taking it down wouldn't change what happened, Graham continued. I'm thankful the monument still stands today to remind us of Absalom's very serious and costly sins. It doesn't take too much imagination to guess the rest of Graham's argument. There are monuments in our country today that remind us of the sins of our past, and taking them down isn't going to change the mistakes we have made as a nation, he continued. They remind us of the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice said in May, I am a firm believer in keep your history before you, and so I don't actually want to rename things that were named for slave owners. I want us to have to look at those names and recognize what they did, and to be able to tell our kids what they did, and for them to have a sense of their own history. When you start wiping out your history, sanitizing your history to make you feel better, it's a bad thing, he added. Perhaps monuments can serve to help us teach our children and grandchildren to avoid repeating the same mistakes in the future, Graham concluded. By Saturday morning, the post had garnered more than 95,000 likes and been shared more than 35,000 times. Obviously, the argument struck a chord. Many, although not all, of the statues and monuments being targeted remind us of some very dark days in our country's history and of some very dark belief systems that accompanied them. Yet, most of them represent men who may have made poor choices but have still played important roles in U.S. history. In the specific case of Robert E. Lee, here was a man who understood that slavery was wrong but felt a strong attachment to his home state of Virginia. He believed the state's decision to secede was merely following what the Declaration of Independence stated, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to this separation. To say that ended poorly for the secessionists is to put it lightly. That does not mean, however, that it ceases to be part of our history. It is something that we can all learn from as citizens of this country, particularly in the dark days of division that the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia, a week ago has engendered. Please like and share on Facebook and Twitter with your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on what Franklin Graham had to say? Scroll down to comment below.